This is the facelifted Porsche Macan. It's got newish bumpers, new lights, new paint colors, new wheel designs, more powerful and not exactly. Okay, so the Macan S has 14 more horsepower, but this is a 2-liter Macan without S, which has 7 horsepower less than the car it replaces. So is this a strange choice or a sensible Porsche?
Let's look at the changes. If you look very closely and compare pictures of the pre- and post-facelift cars, you will notice indicators are now lower and there are no fog lights. There are also new headlights, which are LED. The Macan looks almost the same as the Macan S, only upon closer inspection you'll see Macan without S has fake intakes on the sides in the front. From the side, I can't really see any changes, probably new wheel design, but this press car is on winter tires and alloys look standard. From the back, there's a light bar joining the lamps and it looks great at night.
This key on the door side business dates back to Le Mans style start, when drivers would run to their cars. Later they would sit in their cars in the pit lane waiting to start and drive off. Theoretically, you could save some split seconds by starting the car with your left hand and putting it in gear with your right hand, and okay, this is how Porsche alludes to its racing pedigree, and I respect that. If I want to overspend on a car, I would need some justification. I buy a Porsche to feel like Richard Atwood and Hans Hermann.
But from everyday use perspective, I'm sick and tired of turning the fake key on the left side. Keyless entry and ignition have been around for some time. Theoretically, I could take out the fake key thing and use the fob, which is not a key either. It's all a bit trying too hard. Just give me an optional starter button. I'll pay premium. Not everyone wants to feel like a Le Mans racer.
Perhaps this is the 2-liter Macan target group. Why would you buy this particular version when you could have an Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Audi Q5, BMW X3, Mercedes-Benz GLC, Range Rover Velar, or Volvo XC60? All of them, maybe except for Mercedes, offer a 2-liter petrol version with around 250 horsepower, around 350 newton meters of torque, and all-wheel drive. They all weigh between 1700 kilograms and 2 tons, with Volvo being the heaviest.
Back in the day, Porsche would satisfy its more laid-back clients with a diesel variant, but in 2018 Porsche first declared there will be no more diesels, and then in early 2019 it said the next Macan will be fully electric. If you want a petrol Macan, you've got another 3-4 years to enjoy it, preferably the V6 model.
But let's get back to the 2-liter Macan. Why? Do you really need a 3-liter engine every day? In traffic, all cars are equal. Macan has 370 newton meters of torque and it pulls nicely from down low. 80% of the time, this is a very sensible car which will not cost you an arm and a leg, just an arm. It will not annoy your eco-friendly neighbors, and it will reward you when you take it on some twisty roads. We'll get to that later.
There is a problem in two situations though. First, if you think pressing the gas pedal will make your Porsche suddenly accelerate, it won't. In order to make sudden maneuvers, you need the Sport Response button, which is part of the Sport Chrono Pack. It shaves 0.2 of a second from the standard 6.70 to 100 km per hour time, but more importantly, it gives you 20 seconds of everything there is under the bonnet. By the way, don't show this engine to anyone because it's laughable.
Secondly, and this is something you can't help, the engineers assumed that the 2-liter Macan buyer probably won't drive the car too fast and doesn't need strong brakes. I remember the pre-facelift Macan S stopped on a dime. Right now, the post-facelift Macan S has 6 piston calipers and 360mm discs in the front. Ordinary Macan, the one we're driving without S, has 4 piston calipers and 345mm discs, and it weighs around 1900 kilograms and it doesn't stop. It's a shame because once it gets going, the Macan handles like a proper Porsche. So what does it mean, handle like a proper Porsche? Well, to me, a Porsche must be taught. It must have direct steering, very fast steering, and it must go around corners like it could bend the laws of physics. And at speed, Macan does all this very well. It's just the engine that can't keep up. And the sound. Now, I don't mind Porsche going electric in the future. I drove Jaguar I-Pace and I didn't miss the sound. There wasn't any, there were just electric motors, so there wasn't an engine sound. Unfortunately, in this car, we do get some engine sound, and it's not the engine sound we want because it's a sound of a strained 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. I shall put this car in Sport Plus right now and listen to this. It goes like stink, but sounds like shit. Maybe a sports exhaust would do something, but I don't expect a miracle.
But maybe the 2-liter petrol engine is more economical. According to WLTP, the 2-liter Macan should use between 10 and 11 liters per 100 kilometers combined. That's around 22 mpg US. The best I got was 11.3. Drive the Macan more like a Porsche should be driven, and you'll be up there in 13-14 liters, which is probably 17 mpg. When ticking the options list, don't forget to select the larger 75-liter petrol tank instead of the standard 65-liter one. Inside, I see 2 changes after the facelift. One is the new internet-connected infotainment system. I talk more about it in my Porsche Panamera review. Click the link in the upper right screen corner of the screen or in the description below the video to watch that later. The other change is the appearance of 2 USB ports in the back. And that's pretty much it. Things I haven't noticed 5 years ago when I first reviewed the Macan. I often complain about high sitting position in cars. In the Macan, I actually had to raise the seat, so I guess you should not have problems finding a sitting position suitable for you. It's going to be more difficult for those in the back, but this is where kids and other people you don't like get to travel. By the way, I would describe the seats as firm, kind of Volvo firm, which is too firm for me, but I get it, sport means pain.
Another thing is the tight cockpit, in a positive sense. This cockpit is driver focused and the driver's focused on the cockpit and everything is fine like it's supposed to be in a sports car. However, there is a problem with those cup holders, which you see where this is going. I keep touching my water bottle, and also I cannot extend the armrest, which again is a minor issue for a driver like me. However, if the driver were smaller and sitting closer to the dashboard, this whole thing would be more problematic.
And since we're talking about the armrest, there are USB ports in the cubby underneath it. Plug a phone in and it doesn't fit inside. This is so iPhone 5. By the way, Apple CarPlay with Siri voice commands is €300. The boot hasn't changed. It's 500 liters with the underfloor storage. Fold the back seats and you get 1500 liters. That's the lower end of the spectrum in this segment. I haven't found an option to open the tailgate swinging your foot under the bumper. I guess back in 2014 that wasn't a popular option, or perhaps Porsche focused more on the tow hitch than hands-free opening of the boot.
I get why someone could buy a 2-liter Macan. Not everybody needs 350 horsepower, and then there are also local taxes to take into consideration. On the other hand, this car starts at 60 grand and adding another 25 in options is too easy. For 85,000 euro, you really must love the Macan, especially a 2-liter one. Do you? Is 2 liters enough, or maybe you want the V6, or perhaps it's better to wait for the next generation, which will be electric? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't, and join me for more reviews every Friday. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.